age can't a music be registered? Section 2 of Copyright Act 690, it talks about exemption to copyright. Ideas, concept, method, procedure, completely exempted from copyright registration. What is needed is that before you can be given protection, there are 3 criteria you follow. Work must be original, work must be fixated on a medium. So let's look at the 2. So if your work is still an imagination, something that you think, it cannot be registered because there are no expressions as far as that thing is concerned. So it falls under the category of idea. And ideas are completely exempted from copyright protection. But then the expression of the idea is what the law talks about. So we need to also find out whether the work can physically be seen, whether the work is fixated on a medium. So work that is still in the brain or that is still at the level of imagination cannot be fixated on a what? On a medium. So if it doesn't, pass the test, these criteria, it means that your work cannot enjoy copyright protection. However, registration does not confer copyright on an author, right? Copyright protection starts from the point you start developing whatever musical script you have until you finish. Then there's an automatic protection of your work. But you come to, formalize your work through registration so that you can have documents. It's just like when you buy a car and don't have papers. How do you prove that the car belongs to you? So intellectual property, you need to also have documents, evidence to prove that this work belongs to me. And that is why you go through the registration process. Thank you very much.
Okay. All right, so if there is any other question related to copyright, we will get to your office. But there was something on that has to go to GAMRO as well. Royalties, yes. They asked, your board don't know need your board. Free to any at the normal, so how do they get their money? I think that was a question, right? How do you share it? So those people then, how do they also even get their money?
All right, before I attend to that, I will begin from how we even generate our revenue. How can we even get the money that we share? The money that we share is mostly generated from public performance of the use of music. So one, for example, for hotels, FM stations, bars, banks, shops, and a whole lot, all institutions or agencies that use music legitimately have to pay for GAMRO license, and it's our responsibility. We are still working on it. We are still doing our work, collecting these kind of monies and then distributing it to our members. But this is what happened. GAMRO has come from far. It was formerly the Copyright Society of Ghana, COSGA. It was liquidated somewhere 2011, and then 3 agencies came. We had GAMRO, we had ASOC, and we had Copy Ghana. So GAMRO is in charge of music rights, ASOC is in charge of audiovisual rights, and Copy Ghana in charge of literary works, that is books. So when these monies are generated from such institutions, the next stage for us is to distribute. This is what was being done formally. I mean, let me say the COSGA era or the old era. When the monies are received, it is distributed based on your age or, I mean, how relevant or a system. But per the international system, it is what we call the pay-per-play. So if your music is being exploited or being used publicly, I mean, in the domain, that is where you would have to get a lot of money. So someone will ask then, it's the young guys that are supposed to be getting the money. Yes, per the international standards, that is how it is supposed to be. GAMRO came from far. We are still working on it. That is why currently the money generated, we work with agencies like Quisima and others to get data on how artists' music are being used. And then the office itself also work directly with our major music users, that is the essential users, the FM stations, to get data on artists or music that are being used. So when the money is generated, one, this is how we share it, how your music is being used or how a lot of users from the hotels, from the FM stations are being used, and we distribute it accordingly. But the secret is most or the upcoming artists is not going favorable for them, or the underground artists, I will term it, because his music is not being widely used. But then Gamo has a system that all money that is received, we had portions for these underground artists. So someone will say, Gamo Amamisika 100 Ghana cedis, or Gamo Amamisika 200 cedis. It's because when we received all these data, just consider this. Top charts, you are not there. Data from Christmas, you are not there. FM stations, you are not there. It's literally telling us that the music is not out there. It is the Angela, it's the Flow Kingstones that are there. That is how the money is supposed to be distributed. So that is the way Gamo revenue is distributed. And I think there was other question as to our brother Flow Kingstone asked that he went to perform outside the country, and the moment he finished performed, there was a sheet for him. Yeah, Gamo does that. It is in Gamo. But this is the secret. We have event organizers. Anytime they are going to have a show, or someone is going to organize a show, first point of call is Gamo office. But this is what happens. They are going to request the services of artists. They are going to bring artists, musicians. Gamo is going to charge these event organizers and make sure that the money goes to the performing artists and artists whose music were being performed by the performing artists. One of these event organizers told me that, hey, the people are even telling me that we shouldn't pay the money because say you tia eti omo de na yede mo mo so nti e wo se yede eno so e kan na to na yitia e de mo no musika no e ye kese. It makes our work very difficult for us. And most importantly, when an artist gets a show to perform, it's our duty though to chase after these event organizers, but to enhance our work or to make our work more easy for us, the artist is supposed to just phone in, just as if his royalty is not coming, he will contact the office and tell us there is a show at Mampong, this area. These are the contacts of the event organizers. Hey, go and charge them and give me my money, and let me also give the other artists I use their music, their money to. At the end of the day, there is also a sheet, just as Floki said, we have all those things in our office. If we are able to get the event organizers, this money it doesn't add up to the mainstream revenue. This is how this money is distributed. After the performance, we get the sheet, and thereupon there, the money that was received from the event organizers, we distribute it right away to the performing artists, and then the artists whose music were being used. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. I hope the questions have been answered. We are going to pick just two more because of time, and I know most of us are hungry as well. I mean, myself, for instance, when we were going for the coffee break, nobody said, "Oh, NY, come and take this." Nobody, not even one. So we're going to do that. But I want to acknowledge the presence of Brother Sami. Brother Sami is here. Can we see him? Yeah, Brother Sami is here. Thank you very much for coming. And we picked two more questions. But on social media, some were asking some underground artists, I think it was more like an addition, says some underground artists don't even name their audio well. So it's difficult to know who the music belongs to. And I think, especially those who normally upload using WhatsApp, you know, yeah, you can't really get the data for the song. You can't get who did the song, who is the producer and all that. Someone says, what is the lifespan of music we put on these platforms? And these are questions that are coming in via social media. So what's the lifespan of the music we put on these platforms? Is it forever, or for a year you have to renew? How is it like?
It would depend on the deal that we have as an aggregator. So that's why I said the term is basically stating how long is our contract in place. So if the term of the agreement is 3 years, after 3 years, it's either going to renew, automatic renew, or mutually we have to decide that we want to still continue working together. If for some reason we don't want to work anymore, then we would remove your contract we would no longer be managing your content on the digital platforms, and you'd have to find another means to get your content there. That's the way it works there.
Okay, so it depends on the
term of
the contract. So you check on that before
signing.
If you're okay with it, then you sign.
Yes.
All right. Someone says we need to understand more about how the management earn from this digital music. I think we've talked about it. Streaming, promotions, and online now promote. It's very difficult for people to identify them. So we're going to pick. Okay, so we pick one from here, one from here, one from there. I can see that hand from the back. He's been raising his hand for a long time. Yeah, so
because we want to dodge the question. My name is Miko Wright, and I'm a writer, rapper, and a poet. I want to ask the MC NY, is radio digital?
Hey, that's my question.
Yes. Before the main question comes, is radio digital?
Of course, times are changing. Almost every radio station is now streaming.
All right, good. Then that means that we have Tubani here, and I don't know, is PC here? PC, okay. Then we have a renowned artist here. We have a radio presenter here, and we have the digital streaming guys here. So my question is kind of complicated, complex, okay? In the sense that we have to talk. Hello.
He says he's a poet. Allow him.
Yeah.
He has poetic license, right?
Yeah. The thing is, you have to talk the reality on the ground. These guys are sweet talkers. Obana Betini say all day. By the end of the day, when we go out there, what are we experiencing? Okay. And why is a radio presenter? I'm a musician. I've come out with the let me say record, or I've come out with a song. And I'm someone who believes in the adage that one man young couldn't do that. So I want my DJ to earn. If radio is digital, that means I have to earn when NY plays my song, right? But what's the reality on the ground? Most of us have to pay these presenters before our songs are aired. True or false? These guys are also telling us that when even a hotel, or let's say there's, as the copyright man said, if even my song is being played by a DJ, let's say, especially let's say VGMB, and DJ Blacks is playing just a tune, okay, for maybe an artist to come for an award, that means I have to earn from that tune he played, right? Yeah. So why is it then that if radio is being digital now, I have to pay my way out to get my songs being aired on the radio station? And as a matter of fact, I have a personal DJ. Okay, I record a song, he listens to it. How does my DJ earns from this copyright, or let me say earns from Gambro? Because let me say, at the end of the day, as I learned that, we are all part of music. Okay, it doesn't mean I'm the musician, I just write and I record. My producer has to earn, the DJ has to earn. And if, as I said, the question is directed to him, and if radio is being digital, that means NY too also has to earn playing the music. But is it me who has to pay my way out before the music is being aired? Thank you.
So I'll try and attempt what is mine. Just as he was able to pinpoint and say, this is to you, this is to you. When I'm done, then he can also attack yours. All right. So with regards to radio, I know that times are fast changing where people will go to the radio station. There are so many radio stations now. And for you to get the attention of radio stations, even creating playlists, it's not an easy thing. To get your music into a playlist. Somebody like Davido has his music on Hot 97 in US. And if you tune into Hot 97, he plays like 30 times in a day. And you know why he got in there? There's something called music plugging. And some of these artists get to plug in their music. I'm sure Chaneza knows about that. You get to plug your music, and you don't just plug your music for free. If you listen to Hot 97, you realize that in a day, they can repeat the same song. Like, if you listen in the morning, maybe 8 to 10, the same song will be repeated from 12 to 2. And it'll be like, I don't know what the same songs are, because they pay royalties as well. Now, what I know with royalties, for instance, I know Gamro actually took some radio stations and some companies to court because they've not paid. Now, the private broadcasters have actually agreed on a certain amount they pay because we don't have the login system. They have a certain amount of money they've agreed on to pay to Gamro at a particular point in time so that that money is distributed to musicians. Now, the challenge is that because we don't have the login system, you might not be able to determine that, okay, this artist's songs was played a number of times. B number of times. Maybe for an unknown artist, your song was played once. We can't determine that because radio stations do not log. So it makes it difficult in even sharing the money. And I know in sharing the money, it has to do with registered members. It makes it easier for them. If you're not registered with Gambro, it means you are losing out there. That's why you need to even register with them. Do you get it? So it's very important we attend to all that thing. Now you talk about radio being digital and how we make money, right? Yes, radio stations make money through commercials. You make money through on-spot ads and all that. YFM, for instance, has a platform where you get to, we call it the S-Spin, where at that point in time, more like a commercial, at that point in time, the song drops. Do you get it? It's a promotional plan for artists. Artists do what we call premieres. And these are all marketing plans to get attention. So it happens that way. Now, there was a question that was asked earlier. I forgot to actually address it or make the right quarters attend to it. I think back in 2010, a company used D Black and Kweku T song for an advert. And then the two of them decided to follow it. I mean, court case, back and forth. So Kweku T left Ghana for South Africa. And then D Black's lawyer, that is Cynthia Kweku, actually followed it. So she made sure that she made money from the company and gave it back to D Black. So if somebody uses your song as for a jingle, for a radio advert and all that, you are entitled to earn money. I remember, I don't know if it was 2007, One Love the Kobolo. I don't want to mention the state institution. They used the song for an advert. And you know, One Love is coming from a background where they understand some of these things. He took them to court. He won monies. So you need to understand what you are doing. That's what I was saying earlier, that you need to know something about what you do. I mean, you need to know everything about what you do. It's very important. I don't know if there are other questions. Where does it go to? There are other questions that come to some of you people. Copyright.
Yeah, there was an aspect that has to do with you paying money to DJ to get your song played. I think it's only in Ghana that it is common. There's what we call in the law contract of service. Your DJ has been employed, and at the end of the month, he goes to take his salary. Are you getting that? So if you come out with a bad music, you find ways and means of getting it through the DJ to play, and you will definitely pay money. Let's ask a question, Bob Marley. How many times has he come to Ghana to pay DJs to play his song? You understand? So sometimes we in the industry do not understand what we do, and we are exploited based on our ignorance. The radio stations, they are into business, and they use music. Who can tell me a radio that is running without music? It can never be possible. They are using your music to enhance their business fortunes. Are you getting that? So therefore, they must give back to those musicians. But you are rather going behind and paying the DJs to play your music because your music is bad. Are you getting that? So you don't blame anything because that arrangement is not formal. If you go to the station and find out the payment that you have made might not pass through the right channels, the DJ takes it and spends because you made a bad music. So in actual fact, the radio stations that use your music, they have to pay you for the effort that you have done in coming out with the music, not the reverse. Thank you.
I understand why he said we are sweet talkers, in that the air can be FFF, but then on the ground went here on your Niembo. I'm not saying that if
I was trying some kaka because Kafrasi me try also.
And your time was Mr. Kasa, you'll be the final one.
No, wait, anyway, there are questions to be answered.
Yes, you're going to address that before. So that's what I'm saying.
We should answer them before that comes in.
I just want to pick it. That's going to be the final one.
Hold on. We're having a formal session.
Hold on for us. Hold on. So what we are going to do is Enti on last person I will be then near my answers. Me pacho kasa yetio. Willie Mami, hi,
anyway. I'm Willie Mami. WILLYMWAME. Medina no man I'm a boy fiasco and I'm a boy that kind of book Kumasi Asem. Why friends are Asem rough. And then do the pumping cry man and I'm side the chair to always send him the dignity. First of all, shout out to Fokis to him so where Kumasi Asem Nayaka, what I say. And then the other person can say, I am one say, I say, Opesa when you access that the guitar platform you have to pay something before you can get access. And then second, we say room for ya mommy and boy home, especially artists. They Jimmy were home too much. Mommy and boy home.
No, point of correction, so I know any antibiotics. We need to come clean with some of these things. So apologies for the use of that word. Let's attend to the questions that were asked, and then we'll wrap up. So Sedem, there were questions, right? You want to attend to some of them?
Okay. If I remember the question right, he's asking why he has to pay money to radio stations to get his songs played, and how he can make money from all that.
Actually, it's not even to the radio stations, but
to a
DJs and individuals.
Actually, it's illegal, right? It's a bribe. It's illegal to pay money to a DJ to play a song. You're enticing the person illegally to play a record, and that's a crime. That's both of you can be punished for. Good. So that means it's not something that's supposed to be done. So if it's something you're doing, you need to stop. And the other thing is that we're in 2019, and radio is not the only means to get your music out there. You know, when I was young, the only way you could hear music was on radio. I mean, in the afternoons, you need to listen to Fox FM and listen to Ochami Kofi before you can hear the new music. But now it's not like that. Go on to Facebook right now. All the songs you need are there. And most of them are for free. So it's because we don't understand the system, we are being exploited. So we need to understand that, I mean, there's YouTube, there's SoundCloud, there are so many ways to put your music out there. That money you're paying to the DJ to play the song to some people, you may not know the listenership of this DJ, you can put that money into promoting your record on the social media and get it to your own audience. I mean, you have Facebook friends that you can push this record to. Some of us have more than 5,000 friends on Facebook. And if all those 5,000 people are your fans, that's a lot of people. You understand? And also, I said earlier that I'm happy that Content Connect has a publishing aspect of their business, because that's one of the main ways that we can make other monies from the music we are making. He made mention of producers and all those other people. All those people can be classified as part of songwriters. If you go on to say you look at the music sheet of most of these songs, the producer is credited as a songwriter on these songs. And as a songwriter, you are entitled to publishing royalties. And the only way you can get you can't get publishing royalties on your own. If the music is played here, who are you going to take the money from? You can't take it from Chanetsa, NY, me, or anybody from MTN. You need a firm that can get your money for you. And so Content Connect Ghana is one of those ways you can get it. GAMRO is the main arm of government, right? In charge of that. You need to register with these firms. Most of us are not part of any organizations, but we want to be paid. How do you get paid? Who knows you? Who knows your bank details? Nobody does. You're the only one who does. So until you take that step and register with the right authorities, you can't get paid. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So, yes.
And just one thing to add is, you know, the purpose of these discussions is there's an educational aspect to it, which is to teach and to explain how things should be done. The reality is, as was pointing out, a lot of things haven't been done correctly. This is Africa. We survive and we do whatever we need to do. But the reality is there are correct ways to do things, and this is the purpose of these platforms, for us to share and discuss how to register with GAMRO, how to register with Content Connect, how to talk to DJs as to what is the correct way to send music to YFM. because I know certain radio stations in SA, for example, every Tuesday, there's certain radio stations where they have the A&R sessions, like what we do at CC, at Content Connect, where we listen to all the music that's submitted, and as a team collectively, we'll either say we can work with this music or we can't work with this music. And most of the time for radio, I mean, I believe quality is often a big thing. Metadata, which is the song information, has hindered so much with regards to artists. Metadata, just to explain, is the song information. When you submit to radio, I know that you're meant to be filling out a metadata form. When you submit to Content Connect, we need a metadata form. We have a template which we give you, but metadata is simply the song information. What's the song name? Who's the artist? Who featured? Who's the producer? What's the ISRC code, which is the fingerprint? An ISRC code is basically a fingerprint for your song so it can be identified wherever it's played. Who's the composers? That's the information which when those things aren't completed correctly, it makes it so much harder than to make things work properly. But at the end of the day, we need to start from now to try and do things the right way. Payola, which is what you're saying, is paying DJs to play stuff. It's not correct. But we resort to that method just because people are trying to get their stuff played. And that's not the correct way to do things. There are procedures, which I'm sure there are ways you just need to find out from whichever radio station DJs you're trying to get hold of, what's the way to submit my music? And you find out and you ask. But as I say, just to reiterate, the purpose is to start from here onwards to try to do things correctly. We have the necessary experts in the different fields who can answer questions now. Afterwards, we'll be eating. I'll be sitting at the table. People can join me and we can talk, obviously one at a time. I'm happy to answer whatever questions you have. But that's the purpose of this, so we can learn and educate to do things the right way. So let's move forward doing things the right way. Let's not fight.
Okay, let's move forward doing things the right way. Let's not fight. That is Chanetsa. I think there was the last one which Flo Kingston asked about South Africa, where producers work on songs and maybe you have that person featuring that person you share afterwards. I think all has to do with the arrangements both parties go.
So there's no set structure, to be honest. Even in SA, the way you said it's also done in Ghana, sometimes that happens in SA as well. So there's no set structure as to how the deal is. It really is between the two parties and the two parties agreeing where everyone is happy and comfortable. The Maphorisa might produce the beat, you feature on it, and there might be a structure where he still wants to own the beat, it's his beat, so it's Maphorisa featuring. Or then you reverse the other way. Maybe he gives you the beat, but he still wants to be on the credit, and you agree that, okay, we'll still give you credit because you're the producer. So it says featuring Maphorisa. Or it just depends on the structure of the deal, and there's no formula. There's not 1 + 1 = 2. You have to negotiate between the parties to figure that out. And I mean, as I said, I work with an open door policy where I'm happy to advise, I'm happy to assist, especially in South Africa, because Content Connect, we have a footprint everywhere. So I mean, if artists need assistance with those things in SA, you can connect. I know the relevant people. Maphorisa, I know him as well. So those are things we can also talk about. So yeah.
All right, thank you very much. The last one was with Willie Mame. He talked about unity amongst. I think that's for all of us to get together and work, because elsewhere the artists come together and do a lot of stuff. But maybe in Kumasi, he says there's no unity and that everybody is doing his own thing. So now we're going to call on reps from Kisima to come and talk to us. That's going to be very short and very brief. They are into the data. I mean, real-time monitoring. You know that, okay, at this moment, my song is being played here. They're able to accumulate all that data and let you have it. So a rep from Kisima, after which we go in for our lunch. I know we are very hungry, so we go in for the lunch, and then we take it from there. Remember, I still have the booth there, but thank you very much, guys. Please, a round of applause for them. A round of applause for them. They've done very, very well. Very, very well, and we really appreciate it. So we have a rep from Kisima talk to us and take us through what they do and what Kisima is all about.
Good afternoon to you all. My name is Sakile Kulu, and I'm a Chief Executive Officer of Kisima Audio Insights. And it's interesting that you were talking about logging, because that's what Kisima essentially does. And it could help you hold the system accountable more than anything. Besides give you insights about how your music is performing, it can also help you hold all those people that are responsible in collecting your royalties responsible. Just more about us. We define ourselves as Africa's music consumption data company. And so who are we? Just 3 African boys who decided to embark on a journey to revolutionize the African music industry. And so we've put a lot of money behind this, but hopefully it pays out soon. And so my name is Sakile Kulu, as I said, and I'm the Chief Executive Officer, and I'm from South Africa. Kofi here is my co-founder, and he's our Chief Product Officer, and he's worked for companies like KPMG. And Solomon, which I think he's down there, he's the genius of the company, the guy who's built everything. He's worked for companies like PaySwitch and, of course, various radio institutions in Ghana. And so what have we done? We've built an engine which we hope essentially will be the foundation of the music industry going forward. So what does this engine do? Music insights. Provide you trends in regards to the music industry. Airplay data, which is one of the products that you know about today, which allows basically to track music on both radio and television. Again, insights. One of the things we're also working on is audience measurement through this engine. How do we measure audience? For example, if your music is played in a particular region in the world, how do we measure how many people listened or your music engaged with? Downloads is one of the platforms. We'll be releasing one of our new platforms towards the end of the year, which is built on this infrastructure. Essentially answering the question is, how do you get your music out there? And I think we've worked on an interesting formula because we've been to so many of these discussions and we've heard your pleas. So I think you should look out for that product towards the end of the year. And of course, royalties. So we work with royalty collection agencies to provide logging with basically the system that we have at the back, which is basically able to track where your music is being played. Right now, we can track in Ghana, both radio and television. We're running a pilot in Nigeria. We're running a pilot in Kenya. And we're also, Wales, South Africa, And so, what is the platform won? Kisima won the World Summit Award for the most, World Summit Award for the most innovative products in the business and commerce category. And I'm very proud of this award because we were the first African startup to win in this category. We won the Primavera Pro. If you know about Primavera Pro, it's one of the top 5 biggest music festivals in the world. And it's based out of Barcelona every single year. Primavera Pro also announced Kisima, I think in the beginning of the year, last year in March, as one of the top 5 up-and-coming music startups in the world. And so the product that we have to showcase today is our Insights business, which is essentially helps you track where your music is being played all over the world, but specifically we're basically focused on 4 African countries now, so it can also track on radio as well. What we've also done is also integrated social media, so we know where your music is being played, and now you can basically know what people are saying about your music or you as an artist, right? Because this also helps you determine how commercially viable you are as a musician as well. And these are certain numbers you can take to brands, right? Because if a brand comes to you, for example, and says, I want to do a sponsorship deal with you, how do you then substantiate the point where you stand, right? Because I can tell the brand now, my song has been played X amount of time, and I deserve X amount of money. And one of the most interesting things we're also doing, I think we've already done, but we're busy testing, is the capability for you now to know where your music is being played in nightclubs across the world. So that's something we're also going to be rolling out onto the platform. So you now have radio, you have television, you have social media, but you'll also be able to tell where your music is being played in terms of nightclubs across the world, which also helps inform you and helps with your promotion as an artist. And so essentially why we built Kisima is for artists to know where their music is being played all over the world, because that's what we realized people just did not know. And how do they then provide promotion or insights? Once I asked the record label, how do you sign an artist? Like, what is the data behind you signing an artist? And they told us they don't have that data. So it's all based on gut feeling. So with us, we actually give you data, which you could also take to a record label if you basically want to get a deal. And so how does this help you monetize? Essentially, you know where your music is being played. You know how to plan your promotions in terms of going to other countries. A lot of work that we do with very established artists is basically for them to understand where their music is being played in other countries, so now they know which countries to basically tour when they're basically doing their promotions. I'm sure you know about the Nasty C story. And basically what the platform also allows you to do is reporting, right? It allows you to benchmark yourself in comparison to other artists. So now you can look at your data in comparison to data of another artist, and you can see how well, how badly you were doing. It just depends on the two. And so we're very proud of this platform because the technology behind this platform is one of the best in the world. And so our platform is built, the technology behind this is the same as Shazam, is the same as YouTube, is the same as Music Match, SoundCloud, SoundHound, and BMatch. So we are also using the best technology in the world to deliver this service to you as well. And so who do we work with? We work with individual artists like yourself. We work with management and record labels, and we also work with collective management associations, basically people who collect royalties so they can track and monitor in terms of the usage of your music. Thank you very much. If you want a product demonstration, we're just down there.
A round of applause for him, yes. And I'm pretty sure Gamro now has a partner to work with. And this will make it easier for almost everybody, not just Gamro, but every artist, because you need to have that data to work with. Now, before we take a lunch break, we're going to go through the MTN's music products and experiential care. You can see them, you can go through them, and then find out more from them. And we have our lunch. But before that, I want to thank everybody for coming. I mean, this couldn't have been made possible without MTN, Ghana's biggest telecommunications network. They say we did for you, and for all those who are here, I mean, you guys made it. If you weren't here, we couldn't have spoken to just the chairs. We are grateful to the various institutions, their reps, Munya, we have Sedem, Flockingstone, William May, everybody who came. Like, we are indeed grateful. Thank you very much for coming, and we wish to see you next year, God willing. Or even this year, we still have other programs coming up, Kindness KC MTN. So when it falls within your domain, we will let you know. Thank you very much for coming. And hey, please connect. There are so many individuals here from different offices. You need to connect now. Now is the time. My name is NYDJ. Thank you very much for coming. Enjoy your lunch as well.
Friend Paul. When you're lying, cause I be on the beat. Nana kama kuma to yem na obi die ba. So obi die na mpan so se wo die na. Power pack akete ye bune ni tiasa. So ate akobo po ani petitiri pa. Ade hia be yen kwa cause we seeking rice. Ye di die mpa ya same such a wicked life. Je be tie die pom ni ho tie twa me ho ahia so pani ko hofie.